Before I begin this video guys, I just wanted to take a quick second to say a huge thank you for over 50 subscribers. Honestly, the fact you guys keep coming back to watch my videos makes me so incredibly happy and motivated to continue creating and contributing towards the Kingdom Hearts community. For those who want to see more of my work that isn't featured on YouTube or follow pictures of my dog, which my Tumblr followers seem to love, check out my Tumblr to get updates on my newest projects as well as teasers as to what videos are coming up next. Once again guys, thank you all so much for the love and support, but without further ado, let's get started with this newest Kingdom Hearts free theory. Hello everyone, it's Riley, and finally I feel I have processed everything that happened in the last Union Cross update. It took a while, but I think now, yes, and don't murder me for this, I think I understand why Nomura has done what he did. And by this I mean, of course, kill off Strelitzia. And yes, she is dead. It's the first actual death of the Kingdom Hearts series, but I'll go on to explain this a little bit further along in the theory. Now, today's theory has a lot involved in it, so I'm going to try and make this as short as possible and easy to understand, but it may be uploaded in parts, so as always guys, keep checking my theory playlist to stay updated. The link of this will be in the description. Please remember throughout this video that the following is just a theory, it's fan-based and nothing at this time is confirmed. So without further ado, let's get started. So recently I rewatched Disney's film Tangled, which of course we all know is a confirmed world in Kingdom Hearts 3. We also know that Laurium, yes we have his confirmed name now, will feature in the story plot of Kingdom Hearts 3, as his nobodies, or what we believe to be his nobodies, are also seen in this world. Now, we have the hunch that Marluxia would make a return in Kingdom Hearts 3 based on this fact alone, but now that we are aware of his very dark past, what role could he possibly play in Kingdom Hearts 3? Well, after much thought, I think I have a pretty solid answer. Was Marluxia's return and deadly axe in the events of Union Cross just a coincidence? Well, we already know that nothing in the Kingdom Hearts universe is, and with that being said guys, I think I have a pretty strong theory as to what role Marluxia will play in Kingdom Hearts 3. To begin to unravel the theory, we have to take a look firstly at Marluxia himself and his backstory. Already confirmed by Nomura in past reports, we know that Xigbar was the one to recruit Marluxia into the organisation. Marluxia of course being the 11th member to Organisation 13, being known as the Graceful Assassin, linking back to the possibility of him murdering Strelitzia in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. We also know that Xehanort instructed Marluxia to be the sole leader or lord of Castle Oblivion in Chain of Memories, despite, as Vexen quotes, him being a lower rank than him. But what is interesting about this, you ask? Well, who is currently sleeping in Castle Oblivion, and who is also a Union leader? Of course, it can only be Ventus. Now the question here is, does Marluxia know of the fact that Ventus is in the castle? Well, it's safe to say we currently don't know, but we can look at the possibility. Firstly, after a conversation between Zexion and Xigbar, we know that Xehanort is aware of both the Chamber of Repose and the Chamber of Waking, and he is constantly searching for his other lost friend. Taking this into consideration, is it just a coincidence therefore that the organisation found Castle Oblivion, or was it perhaps predetermined that they would end up there? We know Sora just stumbled upon the castle, however upon further inspection we can assume that Ventus led Sora there by the will of his heart, urging Sora to reunite his heart to his body. Now considering Terra became a vessel to Xehanort in Birth by Sleep, did Ventus connect with Terra's heart, which we know still resides within Terranort's body, urging him to discover Castle Oblivion? This would in some sense give Xehanort a reason as to send some members of the organisation to the castle, as well as to why Axel was sent to look for the room itself, because out of all the members in the castle, who shared the closest bond with Ventus? Yes, of course, it was Lee. Now of course, the true reason why so many were sent to Castle Oblivion was to weed out the traitors amongst the 13, these being Marluxia and Larxene mainly. Their intention to take control of the Keyblade and overthrow the numbers. With this being said, does this mean we will see Larxene introduced again? Well, the possibility is there. I'm so sorry everyone that doesn't want Larxene to be involved. I'm sorry, but the possibility is there now. However, I'm 50-50 on this one, but if Marluxia does make up enough one of the 13 Seekers of Darkness, then as mentioned in one of my previous theories, it is likely we will see a female member as well. With this being said, could it be Larxene or even her somebody form? Now, getting back on track. Between the events of Union Cross and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Laurium had become a nobody and a heartless, as he was slain by a Keyblade. We know from Yen Sid that only those with strong hearts and intentions can become a nobody, therefore we have to assume that Laurium being introduced was no coincidence. He then ended up in either Twilight Town or Traverse Town. I say Traverse Town in this example if Daybreak Town was later destroyed and therefore his body would have landed in that world, or Twilight Town, as mentioned in a previous theory, Daybreak Town is therefore transformed into Twilight Town. Right now it can be either or, I'm not too sure, we don't have a lot of information on that topic, but continuing on. After this, he met Xigbar and joins the organisation, but what happens if Xigbar was the one to assist in Marluxia becoming a nobody? We know that Xigbar became who he is alongside Lee, Isa, Evan, Ienzo, Dylan and Alias in Hollow Bastion, who of course became the first in the number amongst the organisation, these events being between Birth by Sleep in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. With that being said, we aren't 100% sure on the time in which Laurium became a nobody, considering Roxas wandered the streets of the real Twilight Town before meeting Xemnas, but I think it's safe to assume that Laurium became a nobody in the events of Kingdom Hearts 1 due to the presence of Xigbar himself, but I'm getting off track. If we go back to a previous theory I made regarding Strelitzia, we know her name means Bird of Paradise, her bedroom of course filled with plants and greenery to signify this connection. Now, how does this relate to Tangled? I'll let the man himself explain it to you.
Flower, gleam and glow, let your power shine, make the clock reverse, bring back what once was mine, what once was mine.
Yes everyone, if you haven't seen Tangled then let me explain. Tangled is a film about a young princess called Rapunzel, who is born with the help of a magic golden flower that can heal any injury, in some sense reverse time itself. It can heal hand wounds and even bring people back from the dead, and that is where this theory gets really interesting. We know from Beauty and the Beast that an organisation member can easily take over the role of a Disney villain in the Kingdom Hearts universe, Xaldin of course taking over the role of Gaston in that world. So if we take Mother Gothel, who of course is the antagonist in the film, out of the picture and replace her with Marluxia or Laurium, we're not too sure which one is going to be there at the time, we can begin to imagine a far different movie. Now Laurium, as we know and have assumed, was the one who murdered Strelitzia, again his name being the Graceful Assassin. We also know that his nobody form is of course associated with flowers. So in a world where there is a powerful magical flower that can bring back the dead, who would they not send? Of course it has to be Marluxia, which explains his nobodies being present in that world. Now Rapunzel of course has hair that is infused with the power of the flower, thus the reason why she was locked in a tower for so long. Her magical incantation song being flower gleam and glow, let your power shine, make the clock reverse, bring back what once was mine, heal what has been hurt, change the fate's design, save what has been lost, bring back what once was mine. Now, from this song, we can guess two things. Number one, like Xemnas, Marluxia has forgotten how to wield a Keyblade, if he even has one to begin with. I'm not saying he does, I don't believe he does, but let's carry on. Of course, being from the Union Cross universe does not automatically grant him the power of the Keyblade. Moogles don't have a Keyblade, and from what we have seen, neither does the Master of Masters. We know that he only raised Keyblade wielders, so assuming firstly Laurium does have a Keyblade, then perhaps the power of the flower that he wants so badly is of course to bring back his lost powers. However, the second option of course is to bring back the one and only cinnamon bun, Strelitzia herself. Now, do I think Strelitzia will return? Yes, 100% I think she will come back. Now, I know what you're thinking, she's dead, poof, gone, yes, that is true. However, as previously mentioned, nothing is a coincidence. Introducing a character for 2 weeks and then killing her off isn't just a coincidence. Strelitzia has a greater role to play to this story than what we currently think. We know that her goal in entering the fated place of death was of course to find the player and warn them of the events that were about to unfold. These events being of course written in the Book of Prophecies, on that land will darkness prevail and light expire. Strelitzia, of course, wanting to rescue her friend, goes to warn the player, but meets her end in doing so. If any of you have noticed, this does tie in with what the Master of Masters has previously said to Arthur, only this child can read and have the book. If anyone else looks at it, disaster will fall. Now, of course, I am aware that the book Strelitzia has is of course the rulebook gifted to all new Union leaders by Master Arthur, as seen by Blaine and Ephemera having the same book. But what if Laurium was sent by either Luciu or the Master of Masters himself to prevent Strelitzia from warning the player of the forthcoming tragedy? Of course, in doing so, breaking a rule that was set in place. Going back to the idea of Strelitzia's return, we know that hearts can also in some sense float in darkness. Ventus is a prime example of this, as his heart did not end up in Kingdom Hearts, rather finding solitude inside Sora. Now, what if Strelitzia's heart ended up somewhere? What if Luciu's role of waiting for the destined time was to ensure he caught Strelitzia's heart, and kept it safe all this time? Her heart then ending back with her killer, Laurium, inside the world of the Tangled universe, waiting for the right time to save what has been lost? Again, this is no ordinary flower, that inside the Disney universe it can bring back the dead. And with this revelation of Laurium and Strelitzia, is this the reason why Marluxia's nobodies are sighted in Kingdom Hearts 3? Of course, this is all speculation right now, but I do believe Strelitzia will return, and if this is the case, she will aim to gain revenge on what Laurium has done, and maybe even reunite with the previous Union leaders. But this is all just a theory. I'm sorry for the length of this one, guys. As I mentioned earlier, it is a long one. However, one which I believe confirmed the Mora's typical approach of nothing being a coincidence. If you like this video, guys, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.